What's up, fellow anglers? We are obviously in the garage doing something a little bit different today. I've actually been putting this off for a little bit, but it's time to get it done. That's to install my through-hole wiring kit, and this is the one that I got from Wilderness Systems. I've been running my wires kind of through this front hatch for a while now. I love my fish finder setup. I absolutely love this kayak. I'm a little nervous to put holes in it, but I know it's what I need to do to really get this rigged up the way that I want it. So let's stop talking. Let's put some holes in my kayak. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So this is the Wilderness, as you can see it here. Let me see here. The Wilderness through-hole wiring kit. Pick these up online. This is good for 2 holes. Does require a 1 3/8 hole. I did opt for a hole saw versus a paddle bit. I've had some bad luck with paddle bits. Of course, I'm grabbing a ruler and a marker to help mark out my spots. So, should be straightforward. Going to be putting our hole in here, putting our hole in here, making sure we have our plugs for our wires, and be good to go. So the single wire here, just for the transducer, which I've had somewhat zip tied up together. So that'll be over there. And then on this side will be 2 wires. It'll be the power wire and the transducer wire to the actual unit. So I'll figure out that one second. The power wire I do have, I can pull away though. So let's open up the kit here and show you what comes with. And hopefully I won't lose any of the parts. Alrighty. So these rubber seals right here, if you're curious how they work, they are split. You can see that split open. So you put your wire in and then they get squished down. So it's number 4. Same with the double here. See, it's split on both sides. So you can put your wire in. This is likely the one I need for the other side here. Let's double check. There's number 3. They are numbered on the bottom as well. So there's number 3, there's number 4. I guess this is number 2. So you see this one's 2 small holes here. So this one looks like a slightly smaller hole. So before I go forward, I'm going to go ahead and fit this on there. It's pretty snug. I'd like it to be snugger. There is some actual gap in there for the single transducer wire. I think I almost will use this other one with 2 holes. Yeah, that's much better. And then I'll just put some silicone glue in that second hole. I think it's going to be far better than the single holes that come with it, unless there's one already in here that's even smaller. Oh, here we go. Disregard, disregard. There are 2 more actually already in the units. So let me take this off here real quick, because this one here might be the right size for my single transducer wire. This does let you see kind of how these all go together. And I need to check to see if the washer goes on the bottom or the top, or inside or outside of the hole. Shall see. So there's our bottom locking nut. Don't lose this, Tim. There's our washer. The lip goes down. And this bit here. These just go straight down and out. So let me check this one real quick. These slits are kind of stuck together a little bit, but that's fine. That's still a bit loose, but may tighten up. And again, I can always put a little silicone in it. So I would like a smaller hole option, as these are all pretty large. So that's a 6, 4, 3, 5. Even the smallest one, just a rough measurement, this is not a caliper measurement, is about 5 to 6 millimeters. Whereas my wire here is closer to 4 to 5 millimeters. So Probably going to have about a millimeter gap, but again, I'll go through and put probably some silicone glue in there when I install this. I'll actually go grab some out of the house real quick so I have that. Did grab some of this clear silicone sealant. I've used this a few times with my kayak work, so I'll use that to help seal up that gap, that remaining gap in the hole here, just to make sure I have this as watertight as possible. And of course it comes with the second one here as well. I'm going to check the instructions here real quick. Of course it does not tell you where to put the washer, but my assumption is that this rubber washer goes on the inside of the hole, because there's a lip. I don't know if you can see, there's a slight lip that goes around the locking nut, so it seems like those are meant to be married together. So that's where I will put those two. So I've got everything laid out here. I grab my drill. There it is. Alrighty. No time like the present. Slow that down there, big guy. That just goes like butter. Always makes me nervous. Hole saws do make it a lot easier though. So let's do a real quick dry fit. Yep, not a problem. It's funny, it said 1 3/8 and it feels a little bit loose, like I could almost feel like I could go 1 1/4. Alrighty, so got the hole drilled here. Hope you guys can see it's pretty dark in here. So we're just gonna take a razor blade and clean it up a little bit. And I'll tell you, in true fashion, you know, the drill moved a little bit, it's not perfectly centered, blah, 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 blah. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. It is there, and it should function just fine. And I'm not trying to get this perfectly clean, just trying to get all the big chunks off, just to make sure they don't mess with any type of waterproofing or anything else like that. That looks good. So I need to run all of my wiring here, which will take me a good half of a year. That's how much is here. So this does have a pass-through here, which is nice, and I'm going to be using this number 3. I'm not going to put that all the way in there, just want to make sure I put them together so I don't lose them. Of course, the bottom pieces do not have a pass-through though, so while I am feeding this wiring through here and pulled into the hole, I'm going to also go ahead and put that washer and lock nut on, and then I can pull through my 50 foot of cord. Y'all know what it's like. There we go. That is pulled through. I'll go ahead and slide this back off of there. Slide our plastic piece onto the wire. Plastic nut. And slide that into here. So we can get that in here. Now there's a little bit of friction there. Not a ton. Let me get this all the way up in here. Let me slide that in there. I don't know if you can see that okay. It does look like that needs to be pushed out some more. And now I'm going to put that seam side up. Let's do that some more. And on the back side now, I just need to slide up that washer. I don't know if you guys can see that in there. And the screw on the lock nut onto the back. Pretty simple install. Still not too happy about the wire not being, not having a plastic insert. That's a good fit for this transducer wire. Like I said, before I tighten this all the way down, what I'm gonna do is take some of this silicone adhesive. Let me get some of that dirty stuff off of there. And I'm gonna squeeze it into here. Let me get this wire pretty close to where I want it. Plop that right into that hole. Now this is probably overkill. There's the lid. I am just want to make sure that I get this sealed as possible. So then I'm going to pull that in. So that should hide most of that silicone. And then the inside, I'm just going to twist it around the nut, the wire here, just to help hold that in place while everything dries. All right, there's one down. Now we need to position and drill out for the second hole. Now let me check the wiring here. My power wire is obviously thicker than my transducer wire, so I believe that this is going to be the right one for this application. That is a tight fit, pretty tightish. And then this smaller hole will be the one for that. That's also a lot better fit than that single wire there as well. So this is the one that we're going to use. And again, we're going to put this right here. Two pieces. Take this other one out. And we're going to want that about right here. A marker. There we go. If you're making a lot of marks in your kayak for stuff like this, these metallic markers are awesome. All right, so there's that bit there. My power cord fell down here. It did. All right, so time to put another hole in the kayak. And go for hole number 2. There we go. Always graceful. Alright, let's clean this one up as well. I don't feel any big major burrs on the inside, so we should be good to go there. Let me go ahead and get transducer wire fed through here. Oops. Let me put the back on here first. I'm not so worried about my power cable because it's completely separate, so I can just feed it on at any time. Now before I go any further, I'm actually going to go get my fish finding unit and put it on here so I can make sure I have enough wire for that. Not too much extra, as I want to keep things pretty clean. Alright, so here's my little Garmin 4CV. I know a lot of people have big fancy units. This is my first fish finder. Absolutely love it. It's great. Great little unit. Let me grab my bits here. What I need. I'm going to go ahead and plug this up. That way it's exactly as I need. I know one thing is I do like to be able to move this around, so I want a little bit of slack in it. Plop that on, which is great. power cord. Let me see if I can find. There it is. Lock nut and washer. Run that through. Over here. And power cord connected as well. To the side if I'm going to keep, yeah, I do want to keep those on the outside. There we go. And we'll push that up into position. This one has a little bit better of a seal. I'll probably still put some of that adhesive in there just because, well, just because. And that's looking pretty good there. So let me go ahead and feed up on the back end. I'm not going to get a camera in here. I'm just going to push up that washer and lock nut. Alrighty, there we go. That was a bit of a fight, but that's okay. So again, personal preference, just like before. I'm going to take some of the silicone adhesive. Let me get this up out of the way. I'm going to pull these wires back out a little bit. Squish them down in there. And then pull them both back in. Just to pull that adhesive in with them. There we go. Clean this up on the outside, and I'll come back through after this dries and finish cleaning it up as well. I think that's going to be good length, so that way if I want to adjust in and out, I can still do so. Then back on my glue here. So I'm going to leave these cords kind of hanging for now as everything dries and sets. But that's it. That's pretty simple install. The most difficult part, of course, is just getting to be able to reach the different portions that you're putting, because you do need to be able to reach the back. I do wish that these Weber pieces, there was one with a smaller hole, or really what I'd really like is one that has no hole in it at all, that I could just cut or put a hole in it and put my own slit in. That would be super handy for custom install. But let me get my light on my phone, make sure you guys can see. So we've got our through hole for our transducer. This comes up from the bottom, right here, into the hole. So I've got my rods in there. So there's my transducer wire. On the outside, I've got my power, so I have my power box in here as well. Those are both then running out through this other through hole wire kit on this side for my fish finder. All in all, pretty simple, straightforward install. But again, putting holes in the boat always makes me a bit nervous. That's all I got for you today, my friends. If you can, get outside, get a bowl of water. Take care of yourselves. See ya.